Yo, welcome into the next episode of Between the Hedges. Thank you all for joining, whether it's now or later. We do appreciate it. Looks like we got our full crew. It's Three Stooges tonight. How are y'all?
Doing good here.
Doing good, doing good.
That was kind of weak, but we'll go with that. It's trying to be fun and a little bit more energy, more lighthearted, but it's all good, guys. Well. This is game two of three. We'll say three because they're on the road this year of big matchups for Georgia. And this one probably is the biggest if I had to rank them one, two, and three. Um,
Well, judging by the way things have turned out so far this season, it's turned into the biggest.
yeah.
I
Hmm.
mean, it's going to be hard to top that Alabama game.
No, as far as like a really exciting, exhilarating game, no, probably not. But because the way that one turned out, like you said, and that one final play didn't go our way, now this is, our biggest game of the year if we want an SEC championship appearance, if we want a top four seed potentially in the playoff, all that's on the line tomorrow night.
Yeah, I agree. Um, and it's should be a fun one, going to a place I don't think we've ever played Texas at their home field previously. I know we haven't as them being in the SEC because, of course, this is the first year they've been in the SEC. So it's going to be a new atmosphere, new stadium to get to know, and you know they got a pretty good team too to boot. There's a reason why they're ranked number one in the nation right now. They've probably been the most consistent team as far as how they've looked whenever they've played, no matter who it is that they've beaten. They've looked consistent doing it. And what's the one thing we've been begging to get out of uh, Georgia's games this year, or at least I've brought it up several times, is I hope they play consistently good. And they still haven't put together a consistently good full four-quarter game if you ask me. So tomorrow would be a good time to uh, start being
Absolutely.
that consistent good team that we envisioned us being this season.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on that. I think tomorrow, there's a few things that will help us in a way. One is Quinn Ewers. He's mobile, but he's not like Jalen Milrow, so we will be able to contain him, and he's not going to run if he doesn't have to. The only times that he runs is when it's like a drawn up play or he's doing a bootleg or one something. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna stay here for 2, 3 seconds and then I'm gonna run like Milrow does. So we'll be able to contain Quinn Ewers, and also he's still not 100%. So we can definitely rush him and make him really, really nervous. So I think those two things are going to help us a lot if we want to win this ball game.
Well, one thing I noticed about Quinn last weekend against their game against Oklahoma is he looked a little bit off coming back after being hurt. Um, Kind of hope that carries over a little bit longer for this game. Now,
Yeah.
granted, it probably won't because he's had a whole nother week of reps in practice and all that kind of stuff. So chances are he's going to be, you know, the Quinn Ewers that we've grown to see and accustomed to seeing each game for them. But I kind of hope he's still knocking some of the cobwebs loose and rust off. Be honest.
Well, not
Hopefully, he'll
even,
find a way to turn the ball over to us a couple of times. That will definitely help.
yeah, yeah. Turnovers, if we could get some and not give them away, that would obviously put us in a much better position. I'm going to piggyback on what Matthew said, though. If he's not 100%, we just got to hit him one good time. If
Well, be
we,
careful what you ask for because you realize who their backup quarterback is, right?
yeah, bring him on.
Bring him.
And I
Come on.
think
And that's even worse for them
if you
because
look
he's
at
a
their
pocket passer.
stats, yeah, but if you look at their stats, and no, Manning's not a pocket passer. He's not. He's a dual threat. He
He's
can
not like
run.
Jalen Miro.
He can run. To be
I
honest,
ain't
I'd
worried
rather
about it.
yours be the one to play. I don't want to see Manning on the field, to be honest.
Ah,
I actually think he's better than yours is.
give me
He's
both. I could care less.
he's probably gonna be better. He's the better quarterback overall, the better prospect, but he is young. And
Yeah, but he played better already this season than yours has.
but he played two cupcakes.
You play who you play.
Yeah,
He didn't
but
set the schedule.
right, but I mean, he hasn't had to play in a meaningful
Mm.
game against a top
Or in
tier
the
team.
SEC.
Yeah.
Well, the whole Texas team hasn't so far yet.
And that brings up my next point. Texas hasn't been tested yet. So we went on the road. We had the worst imaginable start possible in that game, and Alabama had coupled with their best imaginable start, and we still should have won that game. Texas does not have anything comparable, no big game yet so far to
Well,
compare it to.
don't discount going to Michigan and beating Michigan that much. I mean, yeah, we
I am.
Michigan. Well, you can't because playing in that environment is and winning on the road against the big, you know, top tier opponent is not an easy thing. Now, is it as big a game as what we envisioned from the get go this year? No, because Michigan's not held up to their part. But just as easily, you could say, well, that Alabama game wasn't as good and as big as what we blew it up to be because they've lost to Vanderbilt now, you know. So Alabama's not who we thought they were. So it works both ways.
Ours meant more because it was an actual SEC game compared to, some team. Yes, they are in a Power Five conference, but that conference has maybe two teams that are good in that conference. Four. Name them.
You got to get used to saying Power Four. There are no
Yeah.
Power Five
Sorry,
conferences
sorry.
anymore.
Power Four. Power Four. My
Four.
bad.
There is no
I'm still
more Pac
learning.
12. There's no more Pac 12. It went poof.
And
So sorry.
the
Power
Pac
Four.
the Pac-12 never was a power conference, let's be real.
That too. Yeah. So I mean,
Well,
I give them some credit, but
that I don't know about all that.
Well, I think regardless of who we see at quarterback tomorrow, which it's going to be yours, where
yeah.
the hypothetical stuff is for guys like us to say, oh, what if
Well, y'all
Arch
were the only
Manning?
reason I brought that up is because y'all were talking like, let's just hit him one time and knock him back out, get him
Well,
hurt or whatever.
I was
And
just
I was
saying
like, you just be careful what you ask for because understand, we know that yours is more than likely he's the starting quarterback and he's going to be the main one playing. So guess what? We've prepared for that.
but there's also
If he
enough
gets
tape.
knocked out of the game and Manning comes in and has an awesome game and we haven't prepared for it, guess what that means? That's an advantage for them.
Yes, but there's enough tape that we've prepared for Arch Manning too.
Yeah, there's plenty.
And all I was saying is that yours may be a little apprehensive, like Matthew was saying, to, run and maybe get hit or put his body on the line tomorrow. So that might be an advantage for us. And if we do hit him a few good times, he's going to be like, dang, I don't want to get hurt again. I don't want to blow my final shot at, taking this team where we want to go. So that may play to our advantage tomorrow.
All right, well, I got a question for you. What do y'all think is the one key to the game for tomorrow for Georgia to win? And I'll ask the people that are watching to put it in the chat. What do you think the key for Georgia winning is tomorrow in the
Turnovers.
game? You
Turnovers in
think
our
us getting
corners.
turnovers is the key?
And our corners. Playing consistent, like making sure they are on all the same wavelength.
I
Because
like
I was
That
I
those.
seemed
was at
like it.
that I was at that Mississippi State game and they were not on the same wavelength. It was no. Defense was awful in the second half.
Yeah, so my key to this game will be Georgia creating some turnovers and not giving them away like we did against Alabama. That ended up being the difference in the game, and it always is in these
Yeah.
types of games. So
And
You
coming out
can't
strong.
you can't give away 4 turnovers in a big game and expect to win it, that's for sure.
And we almost did.
We almost did, but you know what? We didn't. That's just
We
the way it
shouldn't have had
works.
the
You have
shot
four
though. That's
you
that's the
have four
thing.
turnovers. You really shouldn't win a game. You should get blown out of a game if you have four
But
turnovers.
but we had a shot.
Well, my key is the same thing I've said for I think a couple of these preview shows each week is we got to tackle better. When we get a chance to make, a sack on the quarterback, don't let him wiggle free and run around and then end up throwing a pass 25 yards down the field that gets completed or run for 7 yards or something like that when you should have had a 6 yard loss on the play. Tackle the guy in the backfield, please. Tackle the tackle, and block, block, block. If we do those two things, I think we're going to be okay because you'll limit their big plays if you get a chance to tackle them as soon as get a man or more than one man, hopefully, to the ball. And if you block in their lines and their linebackers and you're staying ahead of the sticks on offense to where you're in 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 1 instead of 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 12 and converting those third downs and keeping their offense off the field as a result of that, then I think we'll be fine. So if we tackle well, the number of missed tackles has got to go down. And if we block well, where we're not giving up tackles for loss or sacks or just get blown up in the backfield when we're trying to run the ball. That's what I think is going to be key. So I like what y'all said too. It's turnovers and those fundamental blocking and tackling. That's what most games come down to. But the bigger games, I think, is even premium on those, even more of a premium on those aspects. It's just who can do it better.
one other point here for me. Um, we're getting healthier at the right time too, to help with all of that. We're getting some guys back in the trenches on both sides, and just some injuries in some key spots. We're getting some guys back. So I think all of that together, and I've seen this too. I forget who wrote it, so I can't give credit to them, so I'm sorry, but I've seen some articles where it's like Georgia does not need their best game. They just need to play a complete game because we have yet to do so. If we play a complete game, it is hard to beat us. But this season we have not done that yet. The closest to a complete game was probably Clemson. And even in
Hmm.
then, you could say the first half was very sluggish and off
I
kilter.
don't think it was sluggish looking back on it now. I think you
Well,
just had two heavyweight teams just slugging the mess out of each other in that first half. The
That
way
I was
Clemson
just
has
yeah,
looked ever since our game makes you realize how good we played that game.
and that was our
well,
The
first
first game of the
game.
season, yeah, the very first, yeah, it was the first game for them too. So credit to them. What was it, 6-3 at halftime or something like that, if I
Hmm.
remember right. So credit them. You know, now granted, we've had slow starts against some lesser opponents, but I don't necessarily think that was a slow start as much anymore as it was just two really good teams battling it out. And there was not really many plays to be had in that first half.
No, it was tough to get going for both teams. So I mean, I agree with that. I think both teams were just iron sharpens iron, and I
I
mean they were
mean,
just going
Clemson looks,
going after it.
yeah, Clemson looks like they're going to win the ACC. Miami might stand in their way, and that probably will be a pretty decent game, I think, if they match up in the championship.
They
But
probably will.
um, they they would probably win that game if I were guessing, and they're going to be
Yeah.
ACC champions. So we're going to have that good win under our belt. We just got to keep doing our part on our end.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Mike, could talk about what I pulled up the injury report from the latest one yesterday, um, about us getting healthy. Our starting center is probable. Jared Wilson, he's missed the last game or two. So it looks like he's going to be back playing. Tate Ratledge is even questionable for this game. The fact that he's even to that point is encouraging. I doubt that probably means he's not going to play, but it's not a total out designation for him. And then we got Jordan Hall, our defensive lineman, is probable also. We got other guys that are out for the season, basically. You know about those with the two Robinson running backs. I think both of them are out for the season at this point. Um, well, maybe Branson Robinson's not. Maybe he just will be a few more weeks. But then we got Small London at linebacker. He's out this game. And a defensive lineman, uh, Joseph Jonah Ajanai. He's also out this game as well. So, but that is probably one of the better injury reports we've seen the last several games. So you're right about that.
yeah, and I think the biggest thing that I heard there was our center. We need our starting center. That makes the offensive line tick the way that it should.
Well, it'll
So,
be big too when Tate's healthy enough to get back out there and start contributing.
yeah,
He was a preseason All-American, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, and he's our best, but the center is just one of probably the most crucial.
So if you're missing 40% of your starting offensive line, you're going to see a difference there, I would imagine. Any team would. So yeah. So why don't we watch this week's hype video? I haven't seen it yet. Show it to us.
Yeah, let me get that pulled up, and all credit to UGA football for putting this out on X for everybody. This one gave me a little bit of chills, so It's a good one. Everybody enjoy. Let me get this pulled up.
The G is more than a logo. It's a symbol. A force that never stops. It drives you, pushes you, fuels you to be elite. You see it, you know exactly what it stands for.
Your chest put on that G, man. Biggest stage in the world.
The G means something. The connection, the brotherhood, the unwavering belief in something bigger.
It ain't about nobody else. It's about this logo that's on the front of our jersey.
It's about the G. It's about what we do. This thing right here was built for this.
It's everywhere. Rooted in Athens, but the G reaches far beyond. It's the heartbeat of the nation. A love that bonds us together. The G isn't given, it's earned. Through blood, sweat, and sacrifice.
And if you want to be here, you want to wear the G, you want to compete, then this is what it takes.
When you wear the G, you're playing for everyone who came before you. It's a legacy. It's a standard.
They can't want it more than we do.
Proud of it? Damn right we are. Committed to it? Always.
Let's go play some football, boys.
I know, doesn't that get y'all fired up? Makes me ready. Yeah, that's really good.
Shout out to whoever edited and created all that because that was pretty freaking good.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
I want to be like that one day.
UGA football's
All
really
right.
been outdoing themselves with these hype videos and game trailers recently. So
Yeah. Whoever it is, they need to hire them long term. Don't go anywhere else. Just we'll pay you this amount, you stay.
So we're going to get into our picks for the week.
yeah, let's
Yes.
do it.
All right, so give me a sec. Yeah, we'll pull this up. All right, so can we see this week 8 picks?
Interesting.
Not so much agreement this week, boys. So it's going to be an interesting week. So, in fact, the only game we all picked the same was the Georgia game. Georgia's the
See,
underdog this week. We just can't get it out of our blood. It's too deep. I came this close to taking Texas, but no, I can't do it. Can't do it. You're gonna give me over a field goal. I'm gonna take it.
yeah, you almost, I mean, I think this line has moved since then
Oh
in
yeah, I think it's up
Texas's
to like 4.5 or 5 points now.
yeah, in Texas's favor, but I've also heard that, tomorrow it may start coming back down because people are like,
We'll see.
whoa, that's a big number against Georgia.
Yeah.
So
KG chimed in on the chats and I guess talking about the the video, the hype video saying that was awesome. So I agree. That's Casey, I believe in it, Matthew.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Casey's tuning in again. But
Supportive
yeah,
wife, am I right?
we all are going the Georgia, train. We're all pulling for the upset and taking the field goal and hopefully bringing the W back to Athens with us. Then we've discussed that game to enough already, I guess. The second game, we got Miami favored by 4.5 points going to Louisville. Me and Matthew see this the same way. We're both picking Miami. Micah taking Louisville at home. Why is that, Micah? What do you see in Louisville against Miami this game?
You know, give me 4.5, and Louisville's at home. This is a noon kickoff. So, like I've said before, could be a sleepy start for the road team. Um, Either team really could come out flat, but um, yeah, I'll take the 4.5. And Miami's had a couple of close calls already this season that really probably shouldn't have gone their way, and it did. So, it's hard to get that to happen 3 times. And this is a close enough line. If you saw this, just the casual would probably say, well, Miami's undefeated and Louisville's not. They've struggled a little bit, but the line's only 4.5. So they're trying to tell us something there. This is going to be closer than the public thinks. And if that's the case,
No, if Miami would be favored by more if it wasn't at Louisville. That's the home field.
home
Mhm.
field is
That's the reason
typically
why that's the reason why it's only 4.5.
home field's typically 3.
All right, so that would be a touchdown favorite then. I think that's what this game will be, if not more. I think Miami probably win by two scores.
We'll see. Louisville has a quarterback
My
and they
opinion.
can play some defense. So I'll take I want some upsets, clearly. So I'm upset city tomorrow.
Well, you're going 0 for 6
Yeah,
this
you
week.
are Louisville, Tennessee, Georgia Tech, and Arkansas. You going Dog City,
Dog
Georgia,
city this week.
Dog City for Micah this week.
And I'm not going 0-6. Those are your last words. You're gonna have to eat those Sunday.
You're going 0 and 6, but
Nope.
yeah.
Well, I hope he doesn't, because that means Georgia probably loses if he does.
All right, 1 and 5.
Mm-mm. No more of those this season either.
So what do you think? Why did you pick Miami, Matthew?
Um, I just feel like Miami, yeah, they've had their ups and downs. Um, so I think in order for them to be contenders, this game uh kind of means a lot for them, just so that way if they want to be contenders and actually a team that's gonna, make a good run in the 12-team playoff, um, they're gonna have to show Louisville what's up, even though they're on the road and they're going to Louisville. Um, so I think Cam Ward is gonna ball out against Louisville, and it's gonna be a 2 to 3 touchdown win.
2 to 3 touchdowns?
You,
Wow.
you heard me, and I don't know how that's gonna happen. It could be from turnovers. It could be Cam Ward just balling out. I mean, who knows? But I think it's
That's
at
strong.
least 2 touchdowns. At least 2.
That's strong.
So
Okay. So
you think Vegas is gonna get it that wrong? They're gonna miss it by 13 points on the spread?
Vegas is retarded.
No.
No, they make a lot of money in Vegas
They
because they
make
get a lot of these games right.
Yeah, a lot of stripper money.
no, they make a lot of money off of doofuses like
Pe-
us
pe-
betting, yeah, Miami's gonna win by 4 touchdowns. And then they win by 3.
or they
And
win by a single point.
and they take your money and they laugh and they build bigger buildings and fancier buildings and so
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I don't trust Vegas. Vegas is Sin City,
Okay.
so
Then we move along. We got another, well, the second biggest game in the SEC this weekend, I'd say. Alabama favored by 2.5. Not even a field goal. Going into hillbilly country to take on the Tennessee Vols. Micah and
go
Matthew
Hillbillies.
are picking the Vols. My oh my.
Go Hillbillies.
I'm a little ashamed right now.
Go BO.
it it worries me a little bit that me and Matthew are in agreement after we just vehemently disagreed on the last one. So yeah. Um I was just thinking, give me the 2.5. Tennessee's at home. They got up for this game 2 years ago, and we saw what happened at home for them. But they had
Well,
but
you would really want to bring up that game.
yeah, well, I was about to say they had a much deeper,
Alabama gave them that game 2 years ago.
they did, but Alabama just lost to freaking Vandy too. So that was
You
my
got to put that into factors.
that was my other
Vandy.
reason for taking Tennessee because Alabama doesn't quite
They're
look
they're
like
not they're not
world
that good.
beaters. So give me old
The reason
Rocky
why I
Top.
stuck with Alabama on this one is because of the same reason the game last week between Tennessee and Florida, why I chose the way I did. Alabama has Tennessee's number right now. They're in their head. And I honestly think that will continue this week. Tennessee has not been playing very well. They've been shut
Neither
out
has Alabama.
they've been shut out the first half of their last two SEC games against, what was it, Arkansas and Florida.
You got to
Yeah.
play the game.
They were lucky to beat Florida last week.
Got to play the game.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do. That's the
Ask
reason why Alabama's going to win.
ask
No,
Alabama if you've got to show up for every game, even Vandy.
yeah, even Vandy. You just tell them, hey, why
Okay.
don't you go
We
to
will see
go to
tomorrow.
Nashville? Go
Tomorrow
to
at
Vandy.
3:30 on ABC. We will
And
see.
and also, I'd like to add to that. I don't know if Alabama's in Tennessee's head as much as Nick Saban was.
Yeah.
Nick Saban ain't there
No,
anymore.
it was going on long before Nick Saban was coaching.
Yeah, but like when Nick Saban was there, they literally lost like once. And that was 2 years ago at the end of the dynasty.
Yeah.
So you could argue it's more him than
So
Alabama.
you guys are just going into this game hoping it's in the past, not present.
Mhm.
You're banking on the past, not present. So, okay, good strategy. We'll see how that plays. See how that works out for you.
We will.
Well, 2 years ago.
Mhm.
So anyway, it'll
Vandy.
be a good game. I think it'll be a good game. Then we
Commodores.
got, huh?
All I got to say is Commodores.
Okay.
That's a bad word in
They're
Alabama.
they're they're not playing in this game. It's Alabama versus Tennessee There are no
All right.
Commodores in this game.
All they got to do is watch
Okay.
that film and do the same damn thing.
Okay. I hope you're right. To be honest, I don't give a flying you know what who wins this game.
You're making a compelling case for Alabama, though. Have you
I
converted?
just think Alabama's going to win. That's just it, but I don't really give a flip.
All right.
Uh, but all right, so then our next game, Michigan, good old Michigan. They keep showing up on our games of the week.
You got to stop.
Favored by, huh?
Enough with
What?
Michigan. Get them out.
Well, hey, when I send you these games on Tuesdays and I say, hey, are you good with these games for this week? Every week you've said, yeah, 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 yeah. So I don't want to hear
That's
it.
because I'm at
If I put
work.
Michigan in
I'm
there
not looking at the
and
games.
you don't want Michigan game on there, say no. Let's instead of the Michigan game, let's do this game. And then guess what? We may
Oh,
just substitute it.
well, here
All
you go.
right,
Here's
Michigan
me
favored
saying,
by 3.5 at Illinois. Mike is picking Michigan.
idiot.
Why is that, Micah?
I'm not an idiot. What makes my pick an idiotic
Because
pick?
because it's the opposite of his pick. That makes it an idiot pick.
And
No,
that was my point. Why did I pick Michigan? Because Michigan is a tired, bored, uh, you know, has the same way of winning. And if they can jump out to a lead, and Illinois wants to do the same thing that Michigan wants to do. So whoever takes control of the game is they're going to be in the driver's seat and they're going to come out on top. So I think Michigan has a few more dudes than Illinois. All respect to
hmm.
Illinois,
Yeah.
that they can come out and take the lead and not let go of it.
You know why I took Illinois? Because they're at home. Yeah, I
So
don't. I ain't gonna pretend to know anything about this game, other than I've seen Michigan lose to Texas.
a really good team.
Okay. Um, I took them because they're at home, and I haven't been very impressed with Michigan when I have watched them. So I took the
They
home
suck.
team that's getting 3.5 points. I ain't gonna pretend like I know anything about this game or that I even care about this game. If we weren't picking it, I would never even be talking about this game.
Well, no more picking having Michigan in the 6.
Like I said, when I send it out on Tuesdays, if you don't like
I'm
a
saying it
game,
right now.
you can
I'm saying it right
say,
now.
let's not do this game and offer a substitution. And we will
I'm saying
probably
it.
do it.
I'm saying it right now.
So
No more
when I send it
Michigan.
out Tuesday and I say, are you good? Don't reply yes.
I'm at work.
So wait till you're not at work. You don't work 24/7.
Yeah, I do. I got a wife.
Mm.
Oh boy. And she's watching. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Rookie move. Yeah, you can tell you just celebrated your first anniversary and you may not celebrate your second.
It's okay.
So enough of that game. It was a Big Ten loser game anyway. So anyway, Notre Dame comes to Atlanta. The Fighting Irish favored by 11.5 points over the Tech Bugs. I see the two of y'all are going with the nerds.
Give me the
You
nerds.
losers. You losers.
Dang. Why would you
Nerds.
pick Notre? Why
Nerds.
would you pick
Nerds.
Notre Dame?
Nerds. 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 All right, you want to know the main reason I picked Notre Dame? Because they're a better
Points.
team.
No.
And
No.
Georgia Tech's not going to have their starting quarterback playing this week. Did
So.
y'all know that?
So.
Yep.
That's going to make a big difference.
No, it's not.
Okay. So
play
if
again.
Carson Beck doesn't play tomorrow, you still gonna pick Georgia?
Yes.
Haynes King is not Carson Beck, first of
But
He's
he's
all.
still
not.
their starting quarterback.
Yeah, but the drop off from their
He's
first to their second wouldn't be as great as ours.
yeah.
I bet it would.
Our second, third, and fourth are better than their first.
Okay. So
Because they're a
why
bunch
did
of
y'all pick
nerds.
Tech?
Uh, it's a home game in their backyard. I'm getting 11 and a half effing points, and it's effing Notre Dame, and Notre Dame sucks.
What they do.
You haven't watched Notre Dame the last few weeks.
Who have they played?
I don't who.
Okay.
The one team that they
And I hate to
played,
break it to you, but I know the game's being played in Atlanta, but I guarantee you there will be as many Notre Dame fans in that stadium as there will be Georgia Tech fans.
we'll see. I
That
mean,
don't
that
mean
may be
anything.
that may be true, but like
So
We
it's
Notre
not
already
going to
Dame,
ran
be
their
like some
stadium.
big home field advantage for Tech.
Well, we ran over their Notre Dame stadium when we were there. And
Right.
we were the away team. We had more
Right.
fans there than they did. Fans don't matter.
I
So
mean, I just see that Notre Dame struggled with the one really good team that they faced in Texas A&M so far. Yeah, they won the game because it was
Barely.
earlier in the
all right,
season.
is Texas A&M better than Tech
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Notre Dame beat Texas A&M
That
at
that
their
doesn't
place?
matter.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Anytime anybody makes a
if
point
you're
with you, all you say is it doesn't matter. It doesn't
but with
matter.
that, okay, if you're saying that, then Vandy's better than Georgia because they beat Alabama.
No, no, that's not these people played each other. I've just asked you who was the better team, Texas A&M or no or Georgia Tech. Both of you said Texas A&M. Notre Dame's
Yeah,
already
because they're
beaten Texas A&M.
Okay, would you take them in a rematch right now?
No, not right now. I would
Okay.
think Texas A&M would probably win the game if they played again.
Texas A&M
But
wins
that
wins
okay.
that game 9 times out of 10.
I don't know about that. I
I
think
do.
they're more evenly matched. They showed that in the game that they played already this year. It was a close, hard fought game. So
And it was
anyway,
also early in the season. So
exactly. All right, and to wrap up the picks, we got LSU, the Fighting Tigers. Go Tigers. Going into Arkansas, take on Woo Big Suey. LSU favored by 2.5, and we got Mr. Underdog himself taking the pigs.
1-5, Mr. 1-5.
oh yeah. Who
Mr.
went
1-5.
who went 1-5 last week?
I went 2-4.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, Dad went 1-5. So Dad can't talk to me right now.
What
Hey,
do I
I'm
But
not the
mean?
one
you,
calling you Mr. 1-5.
but
Mr. 1-5.
Mr. Mediocre, is that what you want to call it?
I'm still above you.
By one game.
Okay. Hey, that's one game.
All right.
So
Why are you picking Arkansas, Micah?
I get them at home plus 2.5. We've seen what they've done against previous weeks as the underdog, and they come out and they shock teams. They beat Tennessee, they beat Florida,
Eh,
they
eh,
beat uh they should have beat Oklahoma State,
yes.
and they have the
I think
much
that was the best game they played all year, and they lost. That was a loss for them.
yeah.
I
And
honestly think that was Arkansas's best game of the year. It was against Oklahoma State.
Arkansas has the way better defense. LSU's defense sucks.
I don't know. They did pretty good last week against Ole Miss.
Okay.
They found some solutions
They
against Ole
they
Miss. I did
found
not
something.
expect that at all.
Yeah,
They
I watched that
basically ended
game.
Ole Miss's season last week.
They did. Now Ole Miss is done.
You know what that
Now
was
Ole
though?
Miss
It
is
was
relegated to playing spoiler basically for the rest of the season.
Mhm.
the reason why I
And
picked
Georgia's one of
LSU.
them.
I picked LSU last week because they were at home at night. That had a lot to do with the solving Ole Miss. It was a real thing. But now they're going on the road to Arkansas. So give me Arkansas. We'll see tomorrow.
Mr.
We'll
One
see.
and Five.
Yeah. Can't wait for you to go 0-6 this week.
I'm gonna go 3-3 again.
In fact, if you go, actually, I want you to go 1-5 because we all want UGA to win, no matter how these other games. I don't give a flying flip about these other games,
Hey, don't
but
steal my phrase.
but I can't wait for you to go 1-5 because it's gonna
I won't.
happen.
Oh, it won't.
All right. So the only game we all agree on is Georgia. And then every other game, we've got some contention back and forth this week.
Go Nerds.
Which ones?
Heck,
Big Suey.
All right. Well, that's how it will roll then. Another dang good week of ball games.
last week was better.
Why do you say that?
Just better matchups, I think. A lot more. Um, I don't know. I think last week was a lot funner games to watch. This week is kind of there's two, three maybe, and one of them's Georgia, and the other one's Tennessee and Alabama. I don't think there's any other games that are going to be like, oh, that's going to be a good matchup.
See,
Last week we had like
I think
five.
there are a couple other good games that we didn't pick.
one of the ones that we didn't pick that maybe would have been a good one to pick, in my opinion, instead of I know Michigan, Illinois is a top 25 matchup, so barely. But
But it shouldn't even count.
I mean, another good one to pick would have been uh
Kentucky,
probably
Florida,
Kentucky, Florida, Virginia,
Texas
Clemson.
A&M, Mississippi State.
Yeah. I mean, there's better games this week, in my opinion, just because nobody's playing anybody out of conference or that doesn't matter anymore. We're in the meat of the schedule where all the games matter and they're conference
You
games.
got South Carolina playing Oklahoma at Oklahoma.
Go Cox.
I think that steam has run out.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. They played with a lot of steam last week. Came awful dang close to giving Alabama their second loss this season.
But that's what I'm saying. I think
They should have lost that game.
they, but see, yes, I agree. Alabama should have lost, but I think South Carolina, that was like they
Yeah.
exerted all their energy on that game right there.
What's bad for South Carolina is they got Alabama and then Oklahoma back-to-back road games. That's brutal. But see, Oklahoma is not going to have near the offensive firepower that Alabama does. So I think South Carolina's got a good chance of going out there and winning. You also got Auburn going to Missouri. Missouri's got to get things right.
Go Auburn.
I can't say that.
War Eagle.
I hope Missouri kicks the crap out of them and gets
I
back into the
agree.
conversation.
Yeah. Missouri is
Well, they're playing themselves out of it, so they've got to get back into the
exactly.
conversation. And Auburn's a good get right week.
We'll
So,
see.
but
So anyway,
I think that wraps it up for tonight. So I've enjoyed it. We obviously had the most disagreement tonight that we've ever had, so that I feel like that made for a good episode. We'll have to go back and watch it and see.
Mr. 1 and 5.
Yeah, coming your way, buddy.
I
Fast
honestly
for
think we
you.
should do a live during the games, though, when we
I
start
mean,
seeing some of these results and reaction to them.
I'll be at work.
Oh, have fun with that.
Mister, I've got to work during every important game.
Hey, I'll make the schedule.
I know you don't. You work hard. I'm just teasing with you, man.
Work too
So
hard
we can
sometimes.
keep you updated if you want.
I'll
Me and
watch the
Micah
game.
can go live, and you can tune in and watch it when we share how the games are going.
I'm gonna be watching the games. I'm not gonna care at work tomorrow. I'm just gonna.
Mm. Hope your boss isn't tuning in.
No, he's not. He doesn't even know I have a podcast.
Well, you need to tell him.
Yeah. You know, when I'm about to ask everybody, and we can do it now, to share with five of your friends, that would be a good start. You know, hey, I got a podcast. Oh, really? Check it out sometime. Yeah. So, and everyone else out there, thank you for tuning in tonight. If you ever did at any point, give us a like, um, subscribe. Like I just said, share with five of your friends, share with 10 of your friends. I don't care. Whatever you want to do, that will help us. And definitely turn on notifications because we have had a couple of later starts, or if we decide to go live during a game or in the middle of the day during these games, who knows? But you'll get that notification, so you'll know that we're on and you can tune in. So it was fun tonight. I enjoyed it, boys. Thanks for joining me on here, and I look forward to another really good Georgia game tomorrow. So I'm excited. I'm ready for that. And as always, thank you, thank you, thank you for all your support. And go dogs.
Go Dogs!
Go Dogs.